So we're in the middle of talking with Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I literally cannot remember what Eden and Sparta were talking about when we stopped.
Oh,
Like, I have no idea.
I asked
I
her about the meditation thing.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
I mean, I can
'Cause
like
okay.
the thing that I was thinking is like I can think more than that. I feel like what is occupying Eden's mind, especially now, is still like trying to figure out what the hell is the relationship between Kindred and this organization. I think that's what she's really thinking about. So, like, you can take that into consideration, Jenna. Like, I'm gonna go and, like, try it out. Why not? Like, let's roll it. Like, it can always have, like, it's up to you, to the storyteller anyway, on, like, what it comes up on Premonition anyway.
Yeah.
But like that's what is I think that is the chain, like the little link that we're missing.
Yeah,
Because
the
like
connect.
yeah,
What's connecting
yeah, what's
this?
connecting?
What's connecting this group with Kindred and with Eden? Those are like the three connections. I would feel like Eden is kind of like,
Yeah.
what the fuck does this have to do
Yeah.
with me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because everybody seems to think this has to do with me.
Yeah.
And I mean, she even thinks that. She
Yeah.
even said that last night and well, the night before in
Mm-hmm.
her what she was saying. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of where her mind would be. I feel that from her.
Yeah.
Okay. So is Eden gonna try to meditate?
Yeah, I'm gonna meditate.
Okay. Go
It's
for it.
Suspects and
By the way, so
Brazil.
I just want to say before we really dive back in, anybody that's watching that knows Vampire the Masquerade, Eden is a baby vampire. She's very new. She's only 3 days old.
Yes.
So she doesn't know the names of anything, and none of her coterie is telling her or correcting her. So she keeps saying things like, I have ultra vision. For Since the Unseen, she says, I have ultra vision. And like,
And voodoo shit.
yeah, and voodoo shit is what she talks about, like
Super
the
speed.
premiere. Yeah,
Blood
super speed.
test.
So if we say
Meditation.
something stupid like meditation, she's actually not, she's just not doing, she's not calling it the right things. No, she's not a weak blood. She's actually 8th generation,
Yeah.
7th generation.
I am a
Seventh?
3-day-old 8th generation vampire. Yeah.
And my
So
character
she's
doesn't know
super
what any of these-
powerful, but she doesn't know anything because
Yeah.
she's 3 days old. And her coterie is not doing a very good job in educating her
No.
because they think it's funny. Like when she says, I have ultra vision, they just like
yeah,
laugh
I'm
at
like
her.
Baby Yoda. Exactly. I'm Baby
Yeah.
Yoda. Yeah, I'm
So-
Baby Yoda.
I just
Baby Yoda
wanted
is
to throw
cute,
that
though.
out there. Don't get triggered if we're like calling things the wrong names. It goes along with the story of what
Yeah,
we're doing.
yeah.
So,
Yes.
okay. Anyway, disclaimer out there. You guys can enjoy.
It was, it's still like, what is
Eden's
it?
gonna meditate. It's
Aspects?
Aspects and Resolve.
Resolve?
Let me look at my cheat
I
sheet
think
for
it
you.
is. And
Yes,
like obviously the
That's it.
blood dice.
Yeah. Which is only 1 for
8.
you.
Rolling good today as well. I am feeling lucky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Damn. Okay, that was a fucking good roll. Shit, yeah.
So you got 6 successes.
5. 5 in total.
5?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So going into this meditation, what is Eden focusing on?
Like I feel like there's so much going on that like that's why I told you what was going on in her head.
Okay. So mostly she's just focused on what is the connection that
Yeah.
we're missing?
Yeah.
How does
what
it
the
have
fuck
anything
is
to do?
missing? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you guys are watching as Eden does her little thing. She kind of Eden, in this room, it's not a very big room. It's kind of a small little kind of basement room, but there are a few little sitting areas, and she's gonna go sit and kind of just focus her mind like she has done in the past. Um, and as she's doing so, or as you're doing so, you're starting to see little flashes of Bernard. That's
Mm.
who you're seeing. Just
Yeah,
you see
and I
Bernard,
remember Bernard because I saw the picture.
right? You remember what he looks like, and in this first flash of what you're seeing, excuse me, how the hiccups. You are seeing him similar to how the previous guy, how he was like kind of talking to a
Mm-hmm.
congregation, but you don't see the congregation. You only see him. Um and it's like from behind, like he's facing away from you, speaking into a
Mm-hmm.
congregation. Um, and you can't really make out what he is talking about. But the vibe of what is happening with him versus the previous vision you had of this group is it's a lot more calm.
Mm-hmm.
The last one, they were kind of riled up and it
Yeah.
seemed kind of like a pep rally.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this seems more of like a traditional Sunday church kind of
Yeah.
preacher preaching to his congregation.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the feel that you get. You see him talking and he's, kind of really into it, waving his arms around, but you don't hear his voice. You don't hear anything that he's saying. This kind of goes on for a couple of minutes. And slowly, as things start to kind of form in this vision, you start to see the congregation. It's a small little church like building, and there's a bunch of people sitting, listening to him talking. And then you notice that on the left side of him, there are four chairs with four people sitting in it. Two of them are females and two of them are males. And they're kind of intently listening to him as well. After a few minutes, he's looking off to these people and he introduces somebody, and one of the women stands up and walks over towards him, and they kind of like greet each other and they're kind of standing arm in arm and talking and whatever. And they're both now addressing this congregation. Um and this continues. You're still not hearing any sound. It's kind of like you're watching a TV show, but somebody
On
has
mute.
muted it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that continues. You're watching the body language between these two people. They seem to be really connected. And then eventually he kind of like steps aside a little and she's like talking to this congregation of people. And then that continues, and then slowly things start to fade away and you're back in the room. And that is what you've seen, thinking about these people, thinking about any type of connection. That's the only thing that really exposes itself to you
Okay,
in this
so
particular
okay.
moment.
Okay, so as I regain consciousness of like what's happening around me at the moment, I open my eyes, I look at whomever is there, and I'm like,
Sorry. One thing I forgot to say.
yes.
The guy, meant to say this when you saw the four people. One of the males is Franklin,
Okay.
but he
S-
doesn't look like what you remember him. Like you recognize that it's him, but he looks much more put together, if that makes sense.
yeah, I
So
know what you
he
mean.
he looks a little different than
Mm-hmm.
like the Franklin that you saw
Mm-hmm.
in the pictures and in your previous vision of him shirtless
Yeah.
and whatever. But you do recognize that Franklin is one of the four that's
Mm-hmm.
sitting in the chairs on the stage. So anyway, sorry.
A question before I start, like obviously talking to the others, but the woman that greeted Bernard,
Mm-hmm.
did she have similarities with him? Like
Yes.
she
Yeah.
looked like
She
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 could
was a
be this
dark-skinned
Judith
woman.
woman.
Right. Yeah. From just what you know, because you don't have any pictures or even really information of
Yeah,
what she looks
yeah.
like, you would assume that it could possibly have been Judith. Yeah.
And then you said that there's another woman.
Yeah. Two men, one of them's Franklin, then two women. and one of them was what you assume
So
is
there's
Judith.
another man as well that
Yeah.
we don't know anything about.
Yeah, you don't recognize him from anywhere. You don't recognize him or the other woman that's sitting
Okay.
at in the chairs.
Perfect. I will look at whomever and I'm like, okay, I saw something. I was again in one of these, I don't know, gatherings, but this time it wasn't led by the crazy, like, leader of now, Frankie or whatever. It was Bernard. I suppose there was also his sister there. I saw her there with him leading this meeting. But Frankie was there as well as another woman and another man. One thing that was very different about this vision or whatever it is that the energy in the room was very different. Even Frankie himself had a different energy during that meeting. It felt a lot more mundane and just, one of those church gathering moments where, they're discussing something, but it seemed a lot calmer. It wasn't a pep rally vibe where everybody was screaming and Frankie was, shirtless, like inciting the crowd.
So before things started to go downhill, when they were just a church.
And it
Possibly,
seems
yeah.
like Frankie, one of the things that we did ask Henry was if Frankie was already part of the leader positions before Bernard died or was murdered.
Right.
And I guess this answers the question. He indeed was. He was, I guess, like the four, within the very close four people circle. And
so most
definitely
likely Judith would know him.
Would know him.
Okay.
And like,
well, that's good.
Alejandro said earlier, why is she alive? And Bernard is not alive.
So perhaps she was involved with Frankie in some way to take power.
Perhaps.
Could have been.
Maybe they were fucking.
Oh, I thought you meant Bernard and his sister. Sorry, my mind went the wrong direction with that. You mean Frankie and the sister. Woo!
That is some strange ass church, if you ask me.
I was gonna say that would have been quite the surprise. Sorry. Right, Frankie and the sister. Yeah, I mean, possibly there might have been a romantic connection between them.
So it sounds like you definitely have to go through the sister.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds
the sister
like
because there's also two other leaders that are possibly involved in this organization, which we don't know anything about as well.
Right. Okay.
Off game. There, none of those people that were there were the Isaac.
No. Yeah, the congregation, you didn't really they didn't really come into focus in your vision, so you just knew they were there, but you didn't see anybody in particular. The only ones that you saw in
but
particular
of
were
the four, the other man is not
the
Isaac.
other man you didn't recognize at all, and the other woman you didn't recognize at all.
Okay.
Yeah, no. And the other lady you assume is Judith, but you don't necessarily recognize her.
Yeah. Yeah, I assumed because she had a resemblance and she had a certain body language with Bernard that kind of suggested it. Yeah.
So the sister is definitely a good lead and could possibly point us in a direction we might want to go. I think, Eden, the idea that you had about pretending to be possibly a grad student or something, someone researching this for a paper, that is a good approach, and we can try to make it not a threatening approach. This isn't means to expose you. in your group or anything. We're just interested in learning more about what you do.
Lindsay, I know that, I don't know, I just forgive me if I'm overstepping any boundaries here. This is not my intention. I know that I'm nobody here. I know that I probably, if it wasn't for Ronaldo, I wouldn't even be here right now. But I do want to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to ask if there is a possibility for me to just get even just like a new ID or something made for me for now.
Yeah, whatever you need. Whatever is. She kind of like sits back a little in her chair and looks at you and she says, "While knowing your place is important," she looks at Alejandro, "also knowing your worth is equally important. You are an important asset to what we're trying to figure out. So, whatever we can do to help you feel more comfortable and a part of whatever is going on here, I'm more than happy to make that happen for you."
Okay, then I need a contact for somebody that can give me a new identity.
Absolutely. She looks at Lev and kind of ushers him over. This is Lev. He works directly with me. He can answer any questions you have. If you need a new ID, if you want to get hooked up with someone that can help kind of possibly modify your appearance a little, make it easier for you to get out. I know
Yes,
that's something that's hard for you.
that is definitely
Um,
something that I would have to do for sure.
okay. He can speak with you about that and he'll work out all of the details to get you whatever you need. No problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. He's gonna just kind of usher you aside a little to talk with you really quick and have a quick little conversation. And I'm sure you're gonna relay that whatever information. I need a new ID. I need this. I need a new wardrobe.
Yes,
uh,
no, seriously.
but yeah, but no, seriously, you're gonna give him all the information of everything you want and need. And he's gonna kind of take some notes and everything, and he'll tell you, yeah, okay, no problem. Give me the night to figure everything out and get
Yeah,
everything in
I'll
order.
write you after off game
Okay, yeah, right.
about it now.
Okay, so that is happening there. So after a few minutes, it seems like you guys have the direction that you need to go next. There's not a whole lot left that Lindsay's kind of really giving you guys control of this. This is now your investigation when it comes to this particular group. So whatever you guys need to do, whatever you need from her, she's there to kind of as an aid now to point you in the right direction. She's planning on getting all of the information about the crimes you guys asked, like the cases and whatever. So that'll happen tonight after
Um,
you leave.
Lindsay, another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have someone that could surf the dark web for information?
Yes,
Because
possibly.
from the things that we've heard about this group, I don't see them having like a very public place of information.
Okay,
And for that, you would have to dig
that's
deeper
fair.
into the dark web.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I can see what kind of information we can come up with there and might be more useful than other means. Because, like you said, I have a feeling they're probably pretty private at this point. If this is the kind of thing that they're doing, it's going to be a lot more private than, just a simple Google search.
Because we were also
Or read
thinking
it.
that if we could find some sort of recruiting website, something like that, maybe we could go undercover. and set a trap for him some way.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find. We can probably dig up something if we look hard enough. That's the technology is a blessing, but also a curse. Most things are traceable these days if you trace it hard enough and you know what you're doing. So yeah, we'll have some people look into it and see what we can find. What information might be helpful that we can dig up.
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah. One more thing before you guys head out. I had a long and candid conversation with dear Imani. And as of now, she's not comfortable with Ronaldo's involvement in everything that's going on. And unfortunately, she is no longer willing to open her domain to you. So, as of now, Ronaldo, as you already know, because we've spoken, you're going to be removed from this case, and you guys are going to be staying with Colette. And Colette, you guys look over at Colette, and she is upset. She is not happy about hearing this news, and this is news to her. She didn't know this was going on. This probably is why Ronaldo has been weird all day, because he knew what was going on. After everything that happened at the farm with Imani and all of that, he clearly relayed some type of information to her and has been removed from his responsibilities. So she looks at Sparta briefly, then kind of focuses her attention on Alejandro and says, for the foreseeable future, understanding where you are welcome and where you are not is going to be quite important. There is not a lot of space to work with in this city, and the more bridges you burn, the quicker you will no longer be welcome here. So, going forward, let's all remember. She kind of like briefly just scans all of you guys. Until things change, this is what you've been allowed. This is the space you've been allowed to reside in. Until things strengthen with our relationships and we all know who you are and the work that you can do, it's going to be important to not press on the wrong buttons again.
I understand, and I'm sorry if we offended.
Well, you don't need to apologize to me. It wasn't myself that was upset, but perhaps there may need to be other apologies in the future. I am not here to tell you what you do with your time or your relationships. I am here to make sure that the peace is kept among those who live here. And when it comes to people like Amani, you can imagine keeping the peace there is very important. not just for you or myself, but you can see she has a very important role in our city and a very strong connection to Catalina. So,
I understand. Before we leave, I assume Ronaldo's going to be not joining us for this part of the investigation. May we have a few moments with him?
by all means, like I said, I am not the keeper of your time or the manager of your relationships. I'm just here to make sure that if there's a problem, it gets resolved.
There's a desk and like a piece of pen and paper. Like, I look at Lindsay and I'm like, can I grab that and use a
Yeah,
piece of paper?
go ahead.
She's gonna go like right next to everybody, but like she's gonna be like writing something.
Okay. So, after Lindsay delivers this news, he's been like sitting on one of the little couches in this room and he's kind of just like fiddling with his hands and like looking down. He's not really like looking at you guys at this point. He seems upset, like not really like sad, but like just like not he's upset with what's
Annoyed?
happened, but no, he's not like frustrated, he's not annoyed, he's not like angry or anything. He's just kind of like bleh, like this sucks kind of thing. Um and you guys have no idea what's happened with Imani. You have no idea what's happened with him and Imani, with Imani and Lindsay, but you clearly can get the sense that this is pretty serious. You have literally been kicked out of a domain. You have been told that you are not welcome in that domain. So that's a big red flag for you guys. There's like a pretty big target on your back now of people are paying attention to what you're doing, how you're acting, who you're interacting with, and things like that. Um, and you don't know what kind of repercussions it may have brought on Ronaldo himself. Because Ronaldo, you have to remember, Ronaldo stuck his neck out for all of you guys, even Eden, and he's kind of been vouching for you all this entire time and like, no guys, like trust me, like these people can be good people. So he's kind of like put himself out there for you guys. So what kind of like repercussions that might have for him, you don't know. But you can see he's not happy with what's going on. But he also understands that it's not in his control. So what can he do? So he's just like kind of sitting there on the couch. If you guys want to talk to him, you can do that.
Yeah, I
Go
want to
for
walk
it.
over and sit on the couch by him.
Okay. He just kind of like looks at you, the corner of his eye, and just kind of sitting there, not saying anything.
I look over at him and I say, Ronaldo, I am truly sorry if, if I have offended you. I know we've offended Imani. It wasn't my intention, and I hope it hasn't caused too much trouble for you.
Yeah, it'll be all right. I appreciate that though.
I appreciate you sticking your neck out for us, and you've been with us since we first came to the city. And we definitely we fucked that up.
You can see on his face he agrees with you, but he's too nice to say like you fucked up. But you can read his face enough to know like he's like, yeah, you did. But he's not gonna respond and he's just gonna kind of be like, yeah, way to go.
I hope we get the chance to make it right.
Well, I think if you, like Colette said, if you take the time and you put in the effort, find the reasons to fight for the right things. This is a really great city, full of a lot of really great people. But you don't want to be on the wrong side of that.
I understand. I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, I'm going to miss you, buddy.
I'm sure we'll see each other.
And then I get up and I walk over towards Eden and the others.
Well, as soon as he's done, like, talking, I'm probably done writing. And it's, like, just a folded paper. It's, like, just a little paragraph. I'll send it to you. But she's
Okay.
gonna go to Ronaldo, and she's gonna be like, this is for Imani.
Oh, okay.
And
She likes handwritten notes.
I figured.
Yeah,
And she would.
good choice.
And she's like, I know that this is not something that you probably did in a while, okay? I know that you have been a kindred for a while, but can I give you a hug?
Oh. Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And he like stands up and kind of like does that awkward like
It doesn't matter what he does. Like, she's just gonna like give him like a
Hug him
cute
tight.
hug and be like, Ronaldo, I don't know what happened. I don't like drama. I really like you. I think you're cool. We can do something about your style, but we can talk about this later. But I really appreciated everything, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even have the chance to, prove to be worthy to be here. So I definitely will never forget that.
as you're like saying that after this hug that's like kind of unexpected from him. He's not, you don't gather he's not a very affectionate person. You kind of, once you like pull away and are saying that, you can see the blood tears kind of like forming in his eyes. He's kind of like holding his composure, but you can see like he starts getting like teary-eyed. And he hears what you're saying. He knows he put himself at risk in front of the prince, and now things are not quite going his way.
Yeah.
So he's getting a little emotional with
Yeah.
it, like as you're
Well,
responding to
if
him.
I'm picking that up, I'm like, it's not your fault. Like, it's not your fault. And I'm sorry that you have to feel the repercussions. This is very different from everything, and if I can ever do something for you, I literally owe you my life.
We've got a long time to figure that out.
Thank you, Ronaldo.
Of course. He's gonna like, doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know if he should sit back down. So now he's just kind of like awkwardly standing there, like, oh, fuck. Like, and,
I'm gonna be like, okay, just wait 1 second. And then, like, she's gonna go and grab another piece of paper and write something else.
okay. Write another note. Okay. Okay. So he's, he puts his little, the paper you gave him in like a pocket that you didn't even know was there because his clothes are so drapey and weird. But he does have a pocket that he eventually finds and kind of shoves it in his little drapey pocket. And Colette's gonna like come over and just like sit and have a like, quick little chat with him. Like, they're friends. Like, they know each other. They'll definitely see each other. So it's not any type of like bittersweet goodbye for them necessarily, but she kind of like just talks with them for a minute, doesn't say anything super important. She's just like, great, now these fucking people have to sleep in my house. God damn it.
Alejandro just stares at everyone and just there is a facial expression and he knows that he did it. So he just walks out and sits by the stairs outside.
Okay. Doesn't
He
have a
doesn't
lot
say
to say.
anything, just doesn't say anything, just very really pensive, and then he just walks outside.
All right. So as Colette and Ronaldo are kind of like wrapping up their conversation, saying their goodbyes, because he's not even gonna leave with you guys. Like he's going, he's
Yeah.
done. He's not returning with you. He Colette kind of walks over and he kind of like waves awkwardly and just leaves.
Yeah, and I'm
he's
gonna
gone.
give the note, and that's another
right,
thing,
right,
and that's
right.
for him.
Okay, so the second note is for him, the first note is for Imani. Got it. Okay. So after he kind of exits and whatever, Lev speaks up, and Lev has this like really deep voice, which I'm not gonna be able to do, but he has a really deep voice, and he is like kind of talking with you guys. You can tell he's the guy that works out all the details all the time for Lindsay, and he explains to you guys that he has already gone to that farmhouse and cleaned out all of your stuff and moved all of your stuff into the house that you guys will be staying in with Colette. And he actually tells Colette that you guys will be staying at the safe house, not Colette's house, which Colette gets a little bit happy about. She's like, "Yay, because I didn't want you guys at my house."
So at the big house that we were staying the night
Yeah, at
before.
that big house that you were at this morning is where you guys will be staying for now until, because that safe house is in
Ventress
territory. Yeah. So that's where you're staying. And you've now been allowed, which the domain that you guys are now in and have permission to hunt in and everything is Catalina's domain. So that's why that was what's important, which this can be like, we're just saying this is all like conversational shit that's happening, because I'm sorry guys, but playing multiple NPCs is hard.
Oh no, that's
so like Lev and Colette are like talking and sharing this information with you, but I'm just gonna like share it in an OOC fashion. But basically the information you're getting is you're staying at the safe house, all of your stuff has been moved there, and your Lev is explaining that now the domain that you guys have been given permission to hunt in and everything that you need to do in is Catalina's domain, and which Colette is happy about, because Colette actually doesn't live in the Ventruse domain, she lives in Torador's domain. So she thought that you guys were going up there, like to be with her in her house. So completely different territories for you and her. But it is important to remember whose domain you are now in and have permission to be in. And you might not want to fuck that up the way that you did with Imani. Because you might have very different consequences. So basically all of that information is relayed to you guys, and you guys have kind of been brought up to speed on all of the details that you need about where you're staying and blah, 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 blah. So all of your belongings have been brought to the safe house. And this all happened while you guys had no idea. This all happened while you guys were out talking to Henry and shit. Even Colette didn't know this was going on.
Yeah,
So,
Colette was not happy about it.
Nope.
She doesn't want to be our roomies.
No,
Nope.
she is not happy.
No, she is not.
You gather that she's not happy because she is a little bit secretive about where she lives. Like she doesn't like a lot of people to know that information. So, and like welcoming a bunch of strangers into her house to stay there is like another thing.
Yeah.
And working with the Galeo sisters, like you could imagine all of the places her mind went whenever she's like, fuck, these people are coming home with me, like they're gonna fuck up my relationship with my girlfriend, she's gonna hate me. Like Jesus. Ashley and Colette are arguing, why the fuck bring them here, I have to, you don't understand. Oh god, the drama. So anyway, you've saved Colette from some drama, that's for sure. So you guys get all those details, and now basically you're kind of done with Lindsay. All information you've needed has been told. Lev has all of the information about Eden and what she needs, and yeah, that's where you guys are at. Ronaldo is gone. Womp womp. So what do you guys want to do next? Where to?
What time is it right now?
I would say at about this time, especially because we've had such long conversations, it's pretty good into the night. I'd say you probably have like 4-ish hours before
Yeah,
you
but
would
it's
like need
fucking
to be
late.
home.
Like, it's not
Yeah,
that
it's
like we
late.
can go and bust, like, or like try to call Judith right
No,
now.
no, no.
Like, yeah,
You wouldn't be able to
yeah,
do that kind
yeah,
of stuff.
that's what I was
But if there's
thinking.
anything else that you're wanting to try to do, you have probably, I'd say, about 4-ish hours before it's time to kind of get home and get in a safe place before daylight.
I look at Eden and I say, so what do we do now?
You're asking me?
Alejandro's still outside just listening to his music.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's not.
I mean, I guess like Lindsay liked my idea about being a student, doing a research for class. I guess I could work on that, but I mean, I don't, like, I just need to find some good information so that if she asks me something, I'm prepared and I don't, like, sound like, I'm lying. It's all about, knowing your character.
Yeah, you definitely have time though because it's too late to call her tonight.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I just need to find like maybe a theology school or something. I don't know, like I mean, we can talk about what I could be looking for, because if I want to kind of pry on especially the what happened, the tragedy, more than like what their organization is or whatnot, like I gotta come in with a good reason. High stakes.
I think some research would probably be a good idea. Get in the right mindset of what you're trying to do, and so the conversation can be a success.
Yeah.
Well, we can head back to the safe house, and I mean, we have computers and all kinds of shit there. I'm not sure if you want to like use any other type of public stuff like from a library, but they're going to be closed at this hour anyway, so you could
Off
probably start.
game. Do we know where the hell this Judith is?
What do you mean? Like, do
Where
you guys
is
actually
she at? Yeah.
No,
We don't know.
you guys have you literally have no information about her except that
Apart
she's
the
been
phone
Bernard's.
number.
Yeah. Well, you could look up the phone number and see like what area code it was.
Right, but it
and
doesn't necessarily right.
Yeah,
Like,
because she could have moved and
yeah,
still has the same
exactly.
number. So, yeah, you right now the number that you have would be a West Coast number because she originally was from LA.
Yeah.
Right? So it would be a West Coast number. So if she's still on the West Coast though, you guys don't know. Yeah, you have literally her name and the fact that she's Bernard's sister and the little information that you got from that vision of her like kind of being involved. That's literally the only information you have on this lady. That's all you're working with right now until you talk to her. Or until you start doing some research and seeing if you can find anything online about her or anything like that. So, do you guys, is there anything else that you want to happen before you leave this house? Or like with Lindsay? Because otherwise you guys can start making your way out and leaving and whatever.
I mean, we can start going towards the house because
Making
I feel
my
like
way.
yeah, making my way downtown. Yes.
And as
Okay.
we're walking out, I say to Eden, if you can, try to work in about possibly meeting for like a physical interview. Maybe you could let them know that you're here in New Orleans and see if they have somebody that could meet here just casually.
Yeah.
True. What if they have
A
what if
branch
they
here.
have yeah, a group here or maybe not in New Orleans but possibly close by.
Hmm.
Good idea. See if there's somebody like
That I can
some kind
contact
of
if she can't answer.
yeah,
That's a good idea.
somebody out here that's closer that maybe you could meet up with. Good idea. So you guys are just gonna make your way. I'm assuming as you're kind of making your way up the out of this basement area, you're gonna eventually run into Alejandro. Where's Alejandro? At on the stairs of
He's
the
just
basement or the front of the house?
he front of the house, just
Okay.
sitting, staring at nothing.
Okay.
Just
So
having
he's
a
kind
blank
of
stare.
on the steps of the front in the house, chilling. Okay. When you guys come out of the house, Colette is gonna be like, "Hey, you good?" Oh,
We both know.
you good?
We both know what happened. We both know who's the one to blame. There's no there's no denying it. This is one of the reasons why I like to work alone. I don't have to depend on people. And I'm pretty sure you've pretty much been the same. You've been on the same boat.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I used to feel that way. I didn't really like depending on other people, but eventually I realized that I can't do everything on my own. And that sometimes it's okay to rely on other people when they're reliable.
And I look at Alejandro and I say, we may have fucked up, but that doesn't mean we can't make it right.
Say we.
There's no
'Cause I
on
know for a fact. No, but there's always the one person that you can't blame, and the blame is on me because I had pretty much lashed out on Ronaldo when they were being secretive outside the house. So don't even try to take the fall for something I've done.
I'm not blameless either.
Well, I'm
You were
certainly
trying to
not to blame. I didn't do shit.
Eden doesn't do anything. She gets inside the car.
Look, dude, like, okay. I get it. Yeah, if we want to be candid, perhaps you're to blame. If you want to take the blame,
Oh, come on.
take the blame. But the thing is what are you gonna do going forward? That's what I care about. I don't care about where the blame is. I don't care about what happened. What I care about is what you do with what happened. And this is the thing. I'm sitting comfortable. I got a life here. I'm not the one that needs to worry when shit goes awry. But you guys keep burning through domains like this, there's not a lot of places to pick from. It's
Well, my
really
question is,
here or with the Galeo sisters because Cree, fuck living with Cree. They don't let anybody live there except for like 8 people. So y'all are definitely not going over there. So you got to choose between Catalina or the Galeo sisters. And chances are, if you fuck up with Catalina, you're not gonna have a chance to fuck up with the Galeo sisters.
But what even is Eden doing with us? She has her clan here that she can stay with. She's not an outsider.
It's not how it works, though. Just because you have a clan that has a domain here doesn't mean you're automatically you get a membership card. It's not like it's a fucking library.
I mean, that would.
Listen, they have a whole fucking process. You want to talk about complicated? Try being a fucking Tremere in this, a Torador in this city and wanting to live with them. It's like a 3-month process. They're worse than the fucking FBI. Okay, the way they screen people. They got a whole fucking process, man. I went through it. I had to go through it. That's where I live. I don't have a clan here either. I don't have a membership fucking card. I had to go through the whole process. That's what I'm saying, dude. I understand. I don't fucking know. I don't question what they do. It's better that way.
She was being shown off like a fucking trophy in the house.
That doesn't mean they want her to live there.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, listen, come on. You cannot stand there and say that the whole Ashley Eden fucking craziness getting overly excited for things.
That's just how Ashley is. Trust me. Trust me. There's something new and shiny. She's like, ooh, gimme. Especially finding out that, Ian's fucking famous, dude. You know how excited Ashley got about that? Listen, I had to listen to her on the phone for like 3 hours talk about it.
Sparta just chuckles and gets in the car at this point.
Honest. Yeah, Colette, can you give me a guitar?
Dude, I'll get you whatever the fuck you want. Just don't fuck this up, okay? I kind of like you.
Okay, so can you get rid of Eden?
No. I can't do that.
Then don't say whatever you want.
Okay, within reason. Damn it. And she just like walks and gets in the front seat of the car.
Just get me a fucking acoustic guitar.
Jesus Christ. Okay, you guys are gonna start making your way to the safe house that is now your home until you're told otherwise. At least it's nice. It's a nice house. Could have been worse.
Exactly.
Probably is a step up from the farmhouse. The farmhouse was nice, but it was a
rustic. It was rustic. It was a farmhouse. Yeah.
Like this is this house that you guys are going to is a lot the same type of vibe as Lindsay's house. Really modern, super kind of cool, looks really hella expensive. That's kind of where you guys are going.
Really hella expensive. I love that.
Yeah, hella expensive. So you guys make your way back to the safe house when you one thing.
Oh yeah, by the way, as we're we're like hanging out, like whatever, and like we're having like all these laughters and stuff. I haven't been really saying it as much as I want, but I'm checking. I still have seen Sense the Unseen on. Like, she's like
how observant everyone is being, especially as you leave this property.
I activated it. Eden activated it for a reason, because it is an extra aid just in case something is trying to fuck with her. I can roll again.
Not paying attention to anything. He's still a little bit shocked by Ronaldo leaving.
Oh, and sad. Okay.
That's just like something also that come like totally from like Eden's nature as well. Like she's always have to be hyper aware of her environment because she's famous enough to like have to be like that, like almost to the paranoid point. So like she's always
paparazzi.
kind of looking around because she does not like that her main concern is actually not being like spotted. Like
Right.
she's not there, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I was literally about to ask on your drive home who's kind of like what is everybody doing, who's looking around, because obviously Colette's driving, Eden's paying attention, Sparta's dazed because he's sad that Ronaldo's gone. He's like, rip Ronaldo,
Rip.
my little buddy.
Ronaldo was
Uh,
the second person he met in the city. So
yeah, Ronaldo is really nice to Sparta. Sparta, he gave Sparta a chance, and you know they have a little connection for sure. Okay, so I'm going to have Eden roll a wits and awareness.
Okay.
This is as you guys are kind of driving along, making
Making our way downtown.
your way.
Driving fast. Faces pass and I'm homebound.
Look, it doesn't count unless you do the damn fucking...
Do I need to do the hunger die? No. Yes? Yeah?
Yes. Yes, always.
3. So I didn't pass. I'm hungry.
Well, your hunger doesn't go up. It just, you didn't pass.
3. 3 successes.
3?
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys are kind of quietly, there's some like casual conversation here and there. No one's really saying much. There's some light music playing. Eden, as you're kind of looking around, like you said, you're kind of like used to being kind of on guard of like who's paying attention to you, making sure, you know, is there paparazzi taking your pictures and shit like that. That's just the life that you're used to. So as you're kind of like looking around, you see along where you're at, you're not in the actual like where all the bars and all of that kind of stuff is. You're more in like neighborhoody type area right now. But you're kind of making your way along and you see this person kind of ahead of you guys in the distance in a way. He's wearing this long like white trench coat and it doesn't really fit like the vibe of anything like you would typically see. Like it's kind
There's
of like
something
a
that
strange
catches
thing.
my eye about him.
Right. And there's this, it's mainly his way he's dressed. And it's like this white kind of trench coat looking coat thing that he's got on. And it's him and then there's 2 other people that are with him. And they're not dressed the same. They have like bomber jackets on, but they're a little bit too far away to see any detail in that. But you kind of hone in on them as you're kind of getting closer, kind of interested in these particular people. And they're standing by a big kind of like not like a big not like a big Mack truck type thing, but a small little like box truck that's kind of beside them. They don't fit in with this area at all. So you're kind of watching them as Colette's driving forward and whatever. And as you get closer, you notice that they are watching you. So that really piques your interest.
They're watching our vehicle,
like your vehicle, right? So they start to look at your vehicle.
Okay, guys. As soon as I notice, I am saying it. By the way, so I'm saying whatever you're saying right now.
Okay.
What am I?
You're now telling Colette like there's a look at these guys.
Look
like
at these guys. They seem
to
be paying attention to us. Might be paranoid, but never too paranoid.
Okay.
I look to see if I notice them looking at us.
Right. It wouldn't be hard to see at this point, especially now that you've been alerted. You will see the 3 men that she's talking about. And as you're kind of getting closer and closer, these men, the man in the trench coat he gets into the driver's seat of that big truck. Okay. And then the other two get into a van that was parked behind this big truck. So now they're in their vehicles as you're kind of now approaching the van, which is parked behind. So you're coming up alongside them. Now they're sitting in their cars. So Colette says, like, I'm just gonna keep driving and we'll see if, they pull out and start to follow us. So you guys are driving along, and you do see that as soon as you're just a little bit in front of them, the truck does pull out onto the road and start to follow you guys.
Well, seems like they are.
So Colette is continuing. She's trying not to really make it known that you guys know that these people are being suspicious and whatever. So she's just driving along, watching them in the rearview mirror, and she tells everybody, like, okay, like, everybody just kind of act natural. We're gonna see what
Our
they do.
car is a pretty good car, right? It's tinted.
Yeah,
Stuff. Okay, so
really
I'm literally, if they're behind us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
They're
gonna
behind
turn
you.
around and I'm gonna try to look. And again, I have
Okay.
like good, whatever, ultravision.
Ultravision. Yeah. Okay. So are you gonna
I'm
climb into
literally-
the back?
Well, no,
Or
I
just
am in
look?
the back.
Just look.
I
Okay,
am
okay,
in the
okay.
back,
I didn't
right?
know.
So like,
I didn't know who was where. to be
I'm just
honest.
gonna like turn around and like look like
Look
through
out the back.
through the back. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you're kind of like looking back, kind of studying these cars, you don't really notice anything with your sense the unseen. You're not seeing like anything other than what is physically there. But you can see that it does seem to be that the guy that's in the trench coat is talking on some type of radio. You see him
I'm
talking.
focusing and I'm gonna try something.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm gonna try to do share the senses.
Oh God. Okay. I don't even know how this one works. So while you get your roll ready, what is it? You gotta do a rouse check.
So I need to do a rouse check, and this can be only if I am seeing them. That's why I was like, am I seeing them?
That's what I needed to know, if you can see them.
So I need to be seeing them. They have to be in line of like eyesight, and I can access their senses.
Okay, let me look and see if it tells me what I can tell you. One moment.
I can read it to you. I have it right in front of me. I was
have
like
it.
checking. You got it. It's page 253.
Can tap into the senses of another room. Seeing, hearing, and feeling what they do. Okay, so you can see, hear, and feel.
Yeah.
Hear. Whether to tap. Okay, the user decides whether to tap into only one, some, or all. Okay, so what are you wanting to do?
I
Everything?
can't.
Well, you don't know.
Yeah, you can roll
You
for
don't
me.
know
Do you
this is
wanna
happening.
roll for me? I probably will be like, if I'm seeing that he's speaking into something, she will probably be like, I wish I could hear.
I wish I could hear.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
go with that.
Yeah.
We're gonna say that because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. She's just thinking. She's like very like focused on it, and she's like, I fucking wish I could hear what the fuck they're saying right now.
I like that. That feels more natural. Okay, so
I'm gonna do the rouse check.
go ahead.
Didn't pass. I'm hungry.
Oof. Okay. So as you're like looking at this guy, like, gosh, I wish I could understand him. You're also like, I wish I could fucking eat him. Like that too. So you're
Okay,
getting a
so
little
2 hunger dice for this.
Yeah.
It's resolve in all specs. Pass.
Okay.
Barely,
both.
but it's 6-6. I'll take it. So 2
Okay.
successes so far. Fuck yeah. 5 successes, bitch. What's up? I'm hungry, but I am very, very keen to listening to this conversation.
Okay. All right. So, you only needed 3 successes. So, as you're looking out the back of your car into this car as this guy's talking and thinking, "Gosh, I wish I could hear what he was saying." All of a sudden, kind of as if you had just put earbuds in and were listening to something, you can hear his voice. And he's kind of mid-sentence and he says, "Yeah, it's on the move right now. We're tailing it at a distance." And then over the radio, you can hear like the clicks and everything. And they say, "Okay, don't make your presence known." And then that's just the conversation you hear of what's happening. You hear like music and other shit that's not important, but
I
you hear
definitely do not
that bit.
recognize any of the things that, like, any of the voices, obviously, but I do see that the mouth is matching what I'm hearing. I screech. I'm like, ah! Guys,
Are you?
I
Oh.
literally jump when she speaks. Like, what the?
I
you
am
recognize-
hearing the
Okay?
conversation in the car.
What the fuck?
Shh.
Okay.
Oh.
And like she's just gonna like be looking at them and just like sitting there and like, but that she's like, she's invested. She's like this.
What are they saying?
They're saying that they're tailing us, and whomever answered said, "Do not make your presence known."
Okay,
So now
Colette, do you have a gun?
super fucking hearing?
I don't know. It feels like I put some ear pods on and I tuned into a podcast, almost.
Colette, do you have a gun?
There's a gun under every seat.
Oh, sweet.
You pull it out. It's kind of like a
Grab it as well.
standard type handgun. You're gonna realize that this car that Colette has actually has lots of little hidden things all over the place. The more you ask her, the more you'll find out. But yes, there are handguns
Hey.
under all of the seats.
Well, this is... Is this a standard issue Glock?
Yeah. Lindsay has quite a
it
few
doesn't
laying
look-
around.
Yeah. Alright,
Okay,
so
Well,
well,
what do we do? What do you guys want to do now?
I mean,
There's only two
Okay.
options. We either fight them or we try to run.
we ain't gonna be able to run.
Do you see anything that will identify who they are?
Am I seeing anything that is identifiable?
Okay, so as Colette asks this and you're kind of like looking
I'm
closer,
still like, yeah, I'm still listening.
You're
in,
really
whatever, yeah,
focused.
Yeah.
You don't see anything that is sticking out to you right now, but the distance you are, because you have to remember you are far away. Now, naturally, as a vampire, you would have a little bit of stronger senses than a average person. But the distance is making it difficult for you to make out any specific details.
Yeah,
But remember,
like features or whatever.
Right. The driver of this is wearing
This
a
weird cape
white
thing.
coat. Very white. And you notice now that you're seeing him like straight on looking toward him as he's kind of like driving, there is some sort of symbol on his coat.
Okay.
You can't make out the symbol.
Obviously, I can speculate that that is the symbol that
Right.
is the symbol. Yeah.
Right. So you can see that there is, you're saying to them, there's something on his coat.
Yeah, there's something
Maybe
on his coat.
if I could get closer, I could see it clearly, but I can't quite make out what it is. And so, Colette, where you guys are at right now, there's no like red lights. You're kind of just driving through neighborhood streets, so it's not like red lights and stuff. So Colette's like, okay, I'm going to change our route. Obviously, I'm not going home right now. That would be bad. It also concerns me if they know where we just came from. So, did Lev give you his number, Eden, when you
Yes.
guys talked? You need to text Lev right now and tell him that there's people tailing us
Yes.
as soon as we left Lindsay's.
Okay.
She needs to know. So, if her house is compromised in any way, if you could text him.
I will.
So, she's gonna.
I am still
Go ahead.
like trying to pay as much attention, and I'm like, hey, Sparta, this is a text message. You just need to type whatever. I can't lose focus. I feel like if I lose focus, I'm going to lose the conversation if they're talking.
Okay, I take the phone and I start texting, and I just say, "We're being tailed. They started following us as soon as we left.
Be careful or something.
Be
Yeah.
careful."
Just a heads up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. So Lindsay's gonna kind of take a turn off of this road, and her goal is she's trying to get to like more of a city type area where there's gonna be like stoplights and things like that where you guys can actually stop and this close the distance between you and this truck. So as Colette kind of turns off of this road and she kind of starts making really strange turns that don't make a whole lot of sense, like it starts to be weird where she's driving. You can hear over the radio, you hear, David, where the fuck are these people going? And then the guy
As soon as
driving.
they say something, I'm relating. They are asking each other where we're going. So I feel like if we find a way to pick, quote unquote, a destination that would make sense, I think they don't necessarily want to make contact. I think they're watching us and where we're going.
It's like, okay. Okay.
Hey,
Should we find a
Sparta,
place? Yeah, go ahead.
how do you feel like a fight? It would be a nice stress relief.
We are in a neighborhood right now, and there's people still living here, families and stuff. And
Yes.
like Lev said earlier,
Yes.
and he reminded us, we are within a territory that we don't want to fuck with. I'm new here, but I don't think confronting this
We're not fighting this right
situation,
here.
guns a-blazing, like in a Hollywood movie. And she literally
Now you're
will be
jumping
like,
into conclusion.
I'm not sure if
You're
it's the
jumping
best
into
idea.
conclusion.
Okay. No one's fighting.
Because
Everybody just hush. Great. No one's fighting right now. I know where we're gonna go. There's a warehouse that's a little bit further away. We can lead them there and see what they do. It's a safe enough place for us that if something happens, we have room and not the prying eye of children in their bedrooms. We can do things a little bit more privately if we need to. So,
Sparta,
everyone just
could
sit tight,
you
pay attention to what's going on.
text Levi and tell him that we are going to the said warehouse. Colette, if you could give us the address so they know that we're there within this territory and this might be happening. Just in case we disappear.
Lev knows where it is. It's somewhere that we go frequently to do meetups and things. So
Okay.
just tell him that Colette said we're going to the warehouse. If anything goes down, that's where we're going. He'll
Okay.
know where it is.
I relay that message to him and hit send.
Okay. So you guys are continuing on your way. It was a quick little conversation. He's like, David, where the fuck are these people going? The David guy, who's the guy in the white coat, answers. He's like, I don't fucking know. Like, if I knew, don't you think I would already be there? He's kind of like, stupid asshole, shut up. And you guys are kind of driving along, making your way there. Eventually, you do kind of get into a more city-like area, and there are starting to be like red lights, although at this hour, a lot of the red lights are flashing because that's how these types of cities are really late at night. All of the lights turn into just flashing red and yellow lights.
Yep. It's
So
like in Brazil.
eventually it's been really difficult to kind of really close the distance enough to see who these people are. Um so you're driving along. Eventually you can guys can kind of see the warehouse area. It looks like it might even be like the Mississippi River is like behind it. It might be some kind of like port dock area. That's like the kind of area that you guys are now in. And you pull into this like kind of back area of this big like warehouse looking place. And as you guys pull off of the road into this area, the first truck just continues to forward, and the David guy says over the radio they've pulled into some type of parking lot for maybe a dock. I'm not sure. What's it? Somebody give me a guy name. Jason. I need you to break off and turn down the road we just passed to see if you can get a view from that side. And the truck continues. You guys see as the truck continues and the van in between, like, here's the warehouse. There's a road that runs along this way, right off of the warehouse. And the van turns down this road and is now kind of like driving beside you as you guys are parked here. And the van is continuing down that way.
Okay, so as soon as that happens and I break contact type, like the last bit I see of them, that's when the share the senses ends.
Right. It would cut off as soon as kind of David goes straight.
Yeah,
and
as
you
soon
can't
as I
see him.
can't see him, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if we had like a blood bond, then I could probably still tap it, but we don't,
Yeah.
so I can't.
Right. So you hear him giving them instruction. It kind of like cuts off midway. Kind of like you hear them saying, turn it, and then it's done. But he's clearly told the van people to turn down this road. So now you guys are kind of really slowly gliding along in the back of this like warehouse. You're getting closer, like the river's in front of you. And you're watching as the van goes this way. The truck now has continued down the street and is out of sight. You can't see the truck anymore. It's gone. But the van you can still see from where you are. It's ahead of you. It hasn't stopped or anything. It's kind of driven ahead and it's driving down this road.
Well, I tell everybody that I just heard like part of the whatever they were relating to the other units that are around, and that I can't hear them anymore. So that's it.
And without even thinking, I reach under the other seat, I pull out the other gun, and I hand it to Eden, and I say, just in case, don't shoot yourself or us.
She looks at the gun like, I used prop gun once, but I don't think
this ain't a prop gun. This ain't a
same.
gas gun.
Just make sure you aim at the right target. That's all I ask. Although, you know, these aren't going to hurt us as much as other things, but still, I don't feel like getting shot today.
Try aiming for an arm or a foot, because if we can get him alive, we can start getting some answers.
So eventually, you guys are seeing this van is getting further and further away from you, but you do eventually see it pulls off onto the road and just kind of like parallel parks right on the road. And where you guys are, it's not like a neighborhood, but there are like a couple of places that do look like somebody might live there. And a lot of it looks like kind of like in an abandoned stores. Either they're just really poor or they've been abandoned, but you can't really tell. It's just that's kind of what's on the other side of this road on the other side of you. So Colette at this point, she's gonna stop, kind of sit for a minute, look around. You still can't see the box truck. That is completely out of sight, but you can see this van. And as you guys are watching the van, you do see the two individuals from the van exit the van. And now they're on the sidewalk and they're kind of walking towards you guys slowly. But they are a distance away. But now they're on foot. They're not in their vehicle any longer.
How far are they from the vehicle? Their van.
From their van, I mean, they just got out and they like are standing towards the back of the van, had a quick little conversation and started walking, but they're in no hurry to close the distance between you guys. They're trying to look casual in what they're doing, getting out of the van and kind of slowly making their way along the sidewalk.
Well, it looks like they're coming towards us. What's the game plan?
Let's
We have
wait.
a little bit of time.
Let's wait. Let's see what they do. Or
Okay.
I mean, if we can take them alive, that could be pretty valuable.
or let them get some distance from their van. Once we feel like the distance enough, we drive up to them.
Don't forget, there's also the box truck. We don't have any idea what they're doing.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So as you guys are kind of sitting there, these two gentlemen have walked not very far away from their van, and now they're both kind of just standing there. They've got like their hands in their pockets, and they look like they're having like a casual conversation. Every now and then they kind of like glance in your direction. They're trying to keep an eye on you, but not keep it aware of the fact that that's what they're doing. And then a couple minutes go by, and you can now see from a distance on this same road where they parked, coming towards you, you can see the box truck. It's starting to drive down this road towards you. And when it gets where these two gentlemen are, the gentlemen climb into the truck, and then the box truck continues driving along slowly and drives down the road, and then turns back and heads in the direction that you guys originally came from, with now all three of the guys in the same truck exiting, driving away back to wherever, like, direction you guys just came from.
So they just left their van there and drove off. Now might be a good chance to try to sneak up and at least check out the van,
Yeah,
if there's anything in it.
I I agree, but at the same time, we have to be careful.
In case it's booby
That's
trapped.
why. Mm-hmm.
What's the best way we can get into it without one of us getting into it?
I mean,
I don't see any other way. One of us is going to have to do it. And since I'm the one that can actually take a hit, I just pointed at my chest.
no.
Can you take another hit like that, though? I don't know if we want to gamble with that.
But if it is trapped, what might kill you may not kill me.
Well, we could probably start from maybe getting the registration number and look into that if it's registered somewhere.
Let's just go take a look. Let's not try and get inside. Okay, so we'll wait here for a moment. See if we have eyes on these people again. Because as they drove away, Colette kind of like U-turned and started driving towards the exit of this warehouse, kind of really slowly, like she was leaving. So you guys maintained eyes on them for a little while as they kind of drove away, but now they're kind of gone. For as far as you could see, they just continued down the road that you guys came from. You can't see them anyway. There's only two ways onto this road. It's just a small little area. So there's not a lot of places they can come from at this point. They can either come back this way, down this road, or down the road, so it's a fairly safe area for you guys to kind of keep watch of where they would come from. And they're in a huge box truck. That's if they come back in the truck. But You feel confident in the fact that you could at least maintain eyes on the 3 exits and know if somebody is coming. So she's gonna wait a few minutes, kind of looking around, waiting and seeing. She's also like texting somebody on her phone, and she keeps texting somebody, which you guys probably assume is either Lev or Lindsay. And after a few minutes, she's gonna say, "Okay, Lev and Lindsay are in the area along with a few others, just in case anything goes crazy, but we've got some people posted up around. I told them that they left in this box truck, but we can't see them anymore, so they're aware. Let's go take a look at this van that they left over here. So you guys are gonna pull out, and not Lindsay, Colette's gonna park like a little bit away from where the van was. Like, she's not gonna pull up right next to it, obviously. And she's just gonna say, I'm gonna stay here so that if we need to like start driving really quickly or get away, I'm already in the car. Just while you guys go kind of check the exterior. I'll keep an eye out behind us as well. So whoever wants to get out now at this point and walk up to the van, go for it.
I get out, and start walking up towards the van.
Yeah, I pretty much do the same at this point with a gun in hand.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I'm outside by the car, but I'm looking.
Okay. So you're gonna stay close to the car.
Yeah, closer to the car. Yeah.
So you guys walk up.
I'm like not at the car, but I'm not going necessarily with them. Like, I'm kind of staying like halfway through. If I need a sprint, you know that I can do it.
Makes sense. Okay, so as you guys approach the car, or the van, it just looks like your typical minivan. It's like a soccer mom minivan. There's not anything special about it. It's not even like a work van. It's literally like a minivan. So you guys are kind of looking around outside. Go ahead and roll a wits and investigation. We really need to teach some people to drive in this group, because Colette would be a good person to be investigating right now. But I think Colette's a better driver than Sparta, probably.
Yeah, I don't have any driving.
Colette's gonna start making Sparta drive. I'm gonna teach you to drive, son.
Right.
Drive me around.
So I failed my hunger, and I gotta succeed on the other one.
Only one success? Oh, because you only have 2. That's
Yep.
right. Shit. Okay, so one success.
Passed my hunger. And I failed everything.
What?
So you got one success as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So you each got one success. So your investigation skills are shit right now. You guys are looking around, looking outside this car. Like, nothing is sticking out to you. It literally just looks like you followed some soccer mom's car. Like, even like glancing inside, like you see some like food wrappers and like shit like that, but you see nothing out of the ordinary. It just looks like as if you walked up and started peering into a stranger's vehicle.
I don't see nothing then.
I don't know what's going on. I just feel off.
I look around to see if there's like any rocks or like something that can be picked up and thrown.
Okay. Yeah, sure. This area is a little abandoned, so it's not well kept. So I'm sure you'll find a stone or a rock of some size
I
kind of
already
up
know
against
what's
the
gonna
curb.
happen, and I'm like, oh no,
I
There's
tell
a color
Alejandro
alarm.
and Eden to back up, and we all back up like a good distance.
I'm not any like, I'm like,
She's not near it.
I'm
She's
not
like, I'm
near
not
it.
going close to that car.
I'm like 50 meters away from the car.
And I
What the hell are
chuck
you
it through the
doing?
side window.
Which side window? Like back window or front like
I guess it
driver
would be.
window?
So is the driver's side against the curb or
No,
the passenger?
passenger side. Yeah.
So I'll be like backed up halfway across the street, and I'm gonna throw the rock through the driver's side window.
Driver side window. Okay. All right. So you throw this rock that you found on the ground through driver side window. Of course, there's, loud crash of glass breaking. Um and the window kind of half shatters. Now it's got like these jagged pieces where it didn't break all the way. And now the window is broken. So now it's a soccer mom's car with a broken window.
I walk back up to it and just peer through the broken thing and see if I can see anything inside.
Looking inside, you see the same shit. Unless you want to, well, I will have you roll again if you're looking again, so you can do another roll.
Yeah, because I kind of want to be able to like lean forward and kind of just look
Maybe
inside
in the car a little bit more than you were.
without
Okay.
touching the door or anything like that.
Without stabbing yourself with a jagged piece of glass. Probably should break off like the rest of the glass before you start leaning over it. Somebody just wham!
Finally, 2 successes.
Sweet. Okay, that's better. All right, so as you're kind of like carefully peering into this, again, you're not seeing a whole lot that's out of the ordinary. You are seeing everything that you expect to see, even like now that you're closer and like really looking, even like the van itself, like has it been modified in any way? Does it have any type of gadgets or anything? But everything just looks really super standard, and you're not seeing a whole lot of anything that sticks out to you in this particular area of what you can kind of see in the front seat, passenger seat.
I look at Alejandro and I say, I don't see shit, man.
Let me.
I am just dying inside.
All right. Let me have a closer look to this vehicle. I want to start our back off.
I step like back across halfway to the street again just to get distance.
Okay.
Alejandro walks forward and stands in front of the driver's seat.
Okay.
Well, in front of the driver door. If I blow up,
I'll say something nice at your funeral.
Eden, you suck.
Wow.
So Alejandro opens the door very, very slowly.
Mm-hmm. Front door, driver's door, right?
Driver's door.
Okay. So as you open, the door's not locked. The door opens and glass is now kind of crumbling through to the ground as it had collected inside. And you open the door, and even though you're going super slowly and you're terrified, nothing happens. So now the front door is open, the glass is now exposed on the ground, made some noise. You see like a street light, or like not a street light, a porch light in the distance kind of flicker on with all of this noise of what's going on. You might be piquing the interest of people around you that might live in this particular area, but it's kind of far away. It's not anything that's super close to you. Nothing happens though. You don't blow up.
Hey. I look inside and I actually want to open the glove compartment.
Okay. So you're gonna like really get into this thing and start fumbling around. Okay. So are you in the car now? Because you would have to be in it unless you went around and opened the passenger door.
I'm in the car and just searching every little hole that you can search.
Okay. Right. So as you're kind of feeling around, fumbling through things, looking through things, roll a wits and investigation.
All right. Success.
How many?
6 successes.
6? Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Literally success.
Sorry, I questioned your investigation skills because damn.
He just had a small brain fart earlier. It's
He
fine.
just wasn't really feeling it the first time he
No.
looked.
He's been
He's-
spending too much time with me.
He's feeling it now. Okay. Hold on. I need to look at one thing. My throat.
He released a brain fart, and now he's free to think again.
Okay. I think I figured out what I need. This is so difficult. Okay. Okay, so you're looking in the glove box. You look in the glove box as it like flops open. I'm assuming you're probably trying to be more careful than just letting it flop open.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as it opens, again, nothing happens. You're just expecting it to explode at this point. So everything you're opening and touching, you're expecting to kind of trigger this explosion. But nothing happens, and it drops open, and you see a like small leather bound journal looking thing that's inside of this glove box.
So I grabbed the leather looking thing. I mean, Alejandro is still wearing gloves, so nothing could either. No, wait, he can't be tracked. My bad. So he opens it.
Okay, so as you pick it up and take it out, the first thing that you notice is that on the front of it, in like kind of engraved, I don't know how you would make
Yeah, it's
in
like
the leather,
yeah,
whatever. Like
I
there's
guess
like
it
an
is.
engraving, I guess
Yeah.
that's the word you would use. The symbol. So it is the same symbol as the Purist group on the front of this
What?
little journal.
Well, I'll be fucked.
And then as you open it, you're kind of looking through. The handwriting is incredibly messy. It's like serial killer handwriting. You can like barely
Fun.
make out like what
Jeez.
it's talking about.
Jesus.
And
Did-
it seems to just be like really like thoughts that don't make any sense. Like they're just like small little like somebody had a thought and was thinking about something and then just decided to like write it down and remember it for later. But like the few that you if you take a few minutes to kind of shift through and read, like it's not anything that's like making a whole lot of sense. Like you don't know what this person is talking about. This is like a really fragmented conversation that like you have no context of what it means and none of it kind of makes sense. Just seems like somebody's diary, so to speak, somebody's journal of thoughts.
I still pack it up and take it pretty much with me.
Yeah. Okay. It's like a smaller little journal. It's like it's small enough to fit in your pocket.
All right.
As he gets out of the car, and I say, "Did you find anything?"
I found a journal that looks like Mr. Magoo wrote because I can't understand shit, and none of this shit is making any sense.
I start walking up to him.
Is there
I'll take
anything
out the
happening
journal about.
as I'm like standing there? Nothing is happening. Like
Nothing's
literally,
happening
these
around
people
you
like
guys.
just left the fucking car there.
As far as what you're seeing right now, that appears to be what happened. There's nothing happening around you at all other than them. And like I said, there's some commotion down the street, like maybe some neighbors woke up and they're kind of looking out there on their porch, but there's not anything out of the ordinary. The truck hasn't come back in view. There's no other people around. It's just you guys on the street. It's pretty kind of vacant area.
Let's go meet up with Eden and Colette and figure out what the hell this is.
I'm gonna
So
need
we
Mr.
start to walk
Magoo to. Yep.
Done with the van?
For
Yep.
now.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, did you guys look in the back? Did you guys look in the fucking trunk and stuff like that?
I checked the front.
Don't look at
Did
me.
you
You were the
guys-
one in the. You were in the van.
Okay, as you go back to the car with Colette, Ian asked, "Did you look in the trunk, the back?" No.
Nope.
Shouldn't
Do
we
we
maybe
want to?
look?
Said, how did you forget the trunk? And I get out and I walk up to the van and check to see if the trunk's open.
You're gonna attempt to open the trunk?
Yep.
Are you
Okay.
really gonna do that?
Um,
Okay, great. Like, he is
as
gonna
you
do
see-
this?
Sparta,
I am just
exit.
I'm just done.
you guys are pretty kind of a distance away at this point. Sparta's like, "He didn't check the trunk." Like, gosh, idiot.
Great.
And he kind
Rip.
of just stomps off and goes and pulls on the door handle. And as soon as he pulls on the door handle, there's an explosion.
Anyway.
And Sparta goes flying backwards and slams on the ground.
Nice one.
How much damage?
As I'm kidding there. Okay, I mean, you go.
Like,
What is it? Everybody else doing? Like Colette's gonna be like, "Fuck!" Like,
Alejandro starts running towards the scene pretty much.
okay.
Are
And
you?
at the same time, he
Because
says,
that's fire. Probably
No,
instinctually, yeah.
Explain.
Yeah.
So the actual explosion, it wasn't like an explosion like and fire. It was like something had been triggered to blow up inside of here. There's no fire. Fire is not here.
Oh, okay.
But when you pulled on the handle and it had this pop explosion reaction, as a result, all of these little tiny pieces of which are oddly familiar to you guys at this point. They look like well, you would have to get close enough, but I'm gonna explain it because I know you guys are about to get close enough. But they're little tiny, kind of like the size of BBs, and glowing red or orange, just like you saw the night before with the fire bullets. And that pop happened, and the back window of this van kind of burst and in the happening, and boom, all of these little tiny BB bomb, like BB fire bullets, so to speak, have been flown back into the air, which Sparta,
"Oh boy."
the front side of you, because you kind of, I would say you're probably leaned down a little because you would lean down to reach for the handle, so it's not going to be a full like frontal contact. But here, I'll roll for it. How about that? We're gonna roll for this. We're gonna see how much contact happened for you. Not much. All right. I rolled a 1.
Thank
Okay.
God.
So you're kind of safe. So because you were like leaned down, sort of, because it happened as soon as you pulled the handle, not as like open the door. It just happened with the handle pull. So you're leaned down, but in the side of your face here, on the right side of your face, there is just a couple of these little tiny BBs that have like made contact into your flesh, which they're hurting because like before they were like the fire glowing bullets, they're the same, but they're really tiny. So it's you can feel them and like you're kind of like, ah, fuck, and you're attempting to now get them out, but you did fly back kind of from the initial like the impact did make you fly and you kind of landed on your back a little bit of a distance away.
Are they at me yet? Like, have they caught up to where I got knocked on my ass?
I would assume now everyone's kind of rushed towards you.
I look up at them and I say, "Fuck this week."
That wasn't the best plan, Colette says, and she kind of like looks around and she on the ground around you guys and behind this van there's all these like little tiny they look like lights. There's like these little glowing dots on the ground around Sparta.
Colette, we might have to call Lindsay immediately because this is another type of ammo.
Now they're using bombs.
I see that. Are you
And
okay,
also,
Sparta?
probably before the police gets here, we should move.
At this point, you hear voices, like you hear people talking from that direction of what you guys heard or saw with the people being curious. And you can kind of like hear people talking like in the distance, like somebody's definitely outside and aware at this point that something is not okay down the street. And now something has exploded.
We should probably get out of here. I reach down and scoop up as many of the BBs as I can.
No.
Okay, they're
And
hot. So
Oh, they're still hot?
Yeah.
they're glowing. It takes a little while for them to lose their power.
Okay, I take off my shirt and kind of just brush them in and just walk back.
Gather them in your shirt. Okay. Have you picked the few out of your face?
Yeah, the whole time we're just talking, I was pulling them out. But...
Just picking these things out of your face. They bother you, but it's not like gonna be enough to send you in it. This like probably is even just like superficial damage. It's not anything that it didn't damage you bad enough this time. Thankfully, because you were kind of like out of the way. All right, so
And thank
you guys
the
are
gods of RP that she didn't get a 10, but she got a 1, because if not, you rip.
You
Okay,
might have had a whole face and neck full of these things.
Yeah. With more aggro damage, so like, yeah, thank the RP gods for the 1.
The one you got.
Because, like, seriously, I was like, okay, we're, okay, rip. Rip Sparta.
He's not the brightest.
Nope.
He's not a smart man.
It's very impulsive. We're learning in combat
let's
situations.
Go.
Okay, so you guys are gonna make your way back to the car. As you're kind of walking back, Colette's on the phone, and she's relaying this information to Lev. Yeah, dude, it fucking exploded, and there's like those same kind of bullets. You're like, you'll see them. You'll see. You like, you guys need to get here. There's like people down the street. There's like people here, within distance, and she's like saying all this as you guys hurry back to the car, because the cleanup job is not your job. So, you guys can leave. You guys all funnel into the car and drive the direction you came, because Colette wants to see if this truck has appeared at all in the last few minutes, especially with hearing this explosion. These people might come back if they were close enough to hear it.
Yeah.
Or if they were just waiting for you guys to do something stupid and open the doors in the trunk. Okay, so you guys are going driving away from the truck, and if anybody's paying attention, you can see in the distance there's like some headlights coming.
I'm definitely paying attention. I'm getting very antsy. Can we go? I'm like, she's like a kid right now.
Well, you guys are going.
Yeah.
But as you're going, you're noticing from all 3 directions there are SUVs driving into this. So literally from all 3 directions that I described you could come from, there are SUVs coming to this particular point of this road, and they're Lindsay and her people, and you guys kind of just drive right past them and continue on your way, and she says that Lindsay has given you guys instructions to get out of the area and before going to the safe house, because at this point, I'd say probably an hour has passed at least, and it's getting closer and closer to daylight. So you guys have to start thinking about getting home.
Yep.
And your instructions are to drive around for possibly the next 30 minutes to an hour, however long you think you need, just to make sure no one is following you, and then get back to the safe house for the night.
Does Colette tell her
And
that I have
yeah,
all the BBs? Okay.
well, they'll still be more because
Yeah.
they were like hundreds.
Yeah,
So they'll
scattered.
see them on the floor there too when they go to like clean up the job. Because there was not there were a lot. There were like tons of these little balls that have been flung everywhere.
Balls.
Little balls.
I took a lot of balls to the face.
Yes, you did.
You know,
So you guys are now kind of driving along and making your way away from the scene.
I'm still paying attention, and I'm like, well, can I just say something, Sparta?
What?
Like, could you just do me a favor? It's like an exercise, okay? Because I suffer from the same problem. You have seen me. I am quite an impulsive person because I'm very eager, okay? I've always been like this since I was a kid. Just let's try, both me and you, okay? Because I need to work on this too, so like we can do it as a teamwork, okay? Like you call me out and I call you out. Cool? Let's just try to count until 10 and like actually have a plan before we like react to the situation. Yes?
I'm starting to think that's a good idea. Things haven't gone so well this week.
That could have been a lot worse.
I'll try.
Okay.
Just
Accountability buddies.
I just rubbed my face and was like, fuck, man, this hurts.
Yeah, a shirt full of fire bullets.
And I still have holes in my chest.
Yeah. Now that he's taken his shirt off, you can see like the damage still on his body. And he still decided to do something incredibly impulsive.
Yeah.
Okay. So, your guys are driving along, kind of everybody's still a little bit like shaken up about like what in the world is happening? Like what are these bombs that is having like now it's a bomb, like what is the next thing? Like everybody's a little bit quiet after like the initial like shock factor and little buzz conversation. Like everyone's kind of quiet and thinking, like, and Colette's especially thinking like what in the world, like what kind of threat is this, like who are these people, what do they want, this doesn't seem to make any sense. And yeah, you guys are just quietly driving around. You haven't noticed anything out of the unusual. You haven't seen the box truck that you originally saw. It doesn't seem like anybody is trailing you in any way. Like Colette is just kind of like smoothly driving through town, making sure that nobody is paying any attention to you guys. And then eventually, after I'd say about 30-45 minutes of doing this, she feels safe enough to start heading back towards the safe house. And so now you guys are arriving at the safe house. When you get there, you notice that before there was like no cars on this particular street. There are 2 blacked out SUVs parked out front of this property now. And there's also an SUV in the driveway. And as you're kind of like making your way into the driveway toward the house, you can see a few people on the perimeter of this house kind of like walking around, standing guard kind of thing. So clearly Lindsay has sent people to this house to make sure that it's safe, that you guys could actually go there, and nobody has been seen there. So it's safe to go inside, and as of right now, you guys think you've lost whoever those people were, or anybody that might be associated with them.
As we walk in, I say to everybody, "Do you think we're going to get in trouble for blowing up a van?"
Technically, it wasn't us blowing it up. It was booby trapped.
Technically,
It
I
was
got
not
blown up
us.
by it.
Not wrong.
Yeah, you got balls to your face.
I don't
I'm
think
sorry,
we're gonna
but-
get in trouble. There's no way you could have known that was gonna happen.
But again, I'm gonna stress this out with seeing this. Right now, we're seeing on 3 types of ammo. And I've said it
Yeah.
plenty of times today. Do not go outside unnecessarily.
I agree
Because,
with
like I
that.
said earlier, a 50 cal has a range of 1,500 to 2,100 yards. A good shot is a good shot. You go outside and they are keeping an eye and they shoot, you're dead.
I agree. I think it might be best if
So
we.
unless you absolutely have to, don't go outside. Sparta, if you need to do your workout, use the stairs. Run up and down the stairs if you need to.
I think I'm going to skip tomorrow.
There's actually a gym, if you would have asked. There's a gym in this house. It's a pretty big house. You can use that if you want, unless you just like the fresh air.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
should
I
we do
would-
some a half
Training.
an hour of training? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should do that before we.
I'm
head
just
in.
going to go jump on the couch and just be like, fuck this day.
Okay. So as you get in, you begin to notice that in the living room there are things from the farmhouse that were there that have been collected. So things like your PlayStation. Your
Hey.
PlayStation's been set up. Actually, the TV from the farmhouse, which was like a big screen TV, has actually also been brought because Ronaldo doesn't watch TV. So it was brought there for you guys. So now you have an extra TV. This living room is kind of weird looking now. It's got all these like awkward things. Looks like bachelors live there, and I've just kind of like set up different like entertainment areas for themselves. So it looks a little not put together. But you can see things from the farmhouse, like all of your belongings are kind of about. Eventually when you make your way into the rooms, you'll find in one of the rooms all of your like clothes and all of that personal belongings have been put inside there. And you guys each have like kind of been assigned a room in this big house.
Sparta's just been sleeping on the couch the whole, like,
Since yesterday.
yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so Colette's gonna take Eden to like this little gym area that they have in this house and teach her some
Teach me some moves.
sparring
Yes.
with knives.
knives. Double knife.
Like, yeah. All right, is there anything else anybody wants to get done before?
Oh yeah,
everyone goes
and
to
I
bed?
mean it depends on how long we have, but I guess like I could have probably done it like the last 20-ish minutes before we went back, after like things calmed down in the car. Just like start researching like the universities and stuff like that.
Yeah, you right now, like when you guys get back to the house, I'd say you have about a cushion of like 2 hours before the sun would be like fully
Yeah.
up. So
So working out or like training and
researching.
researching that shit. Yeah.
Perfect. That works. And then after Colette is done with you for 30, 45 minutes, she kind of starts to show you like really basic things, and she gives you these two little do you know what like the little stars that you
The
can throw?
shurikens?
Like those things, they look like those, but it's just a blade that has like a small little handle. They're like really tiny. Like they kind of look like little hooks. And she gives them to you. And she's like, you can try these out. Like if you like them, if you're really fast, you can slice people up. She's like, I've got a few other things that you can test, but you can try these out and see how you
And
like
if you
them.
can put me in like in contact with somebody that like can teach me like for a while now. Like I would like to do that.
We'll find somebody that can
I mean,
slash things.
and then like kind of under her breath, but like if she's there, like she's definitely gonna hear her and be like, well, if I fucking survive after we figure this shit out, you know, that's another story.
Colette just kind of like, yeah, she doesn't say anything, but she heard and like acknowledges it and kind of just leaves and lets you do what you got to do. But she retreats back up to her room, and actually while you guys are Alejandro and Sparta, are you guys just kind of like in the main living area kind of thing downstairs?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, just laying on the couch.
As Eden and Colette are doing that in there, I'd say probably like 20 minutes in, Ashley arrives to the house, and she like is like, oh hi, it's good to see you again, and then she just goes upstairs, like she knows exactly where she's going, and she goes up into one of the rooms. So you Ashley is there to spend the night with Colette, and she's chilling upstairs in one of the rooms. She briefly said hello to you because she wouldn't have stayed to have a full conversation with either one of you. And Eden and Colette weren't there, so she wouldn't have seen them. She just went upstairs and retreated into one of the rooms.
As Colette and
Sparta.
Eden come into the room, I say, "Your friend's here."
Who?
Who?
Ashley?
Binge poke, give me a Coke. Oh, okay. Not my friend. I thought we already. Okay.
Colette, he's trying to be funny here, and he was not funny. I didn't find it
Okay.
amusing.
Thanks,
either.
Dad.
Yo, Sparta, you know we're fucked, right?
Oh my god, Alejandro, stop being dramatic, and then like,
Shut up. Shut up.
Eden
Why
is
don't
just
you
gonna go and do her thing in her room, research and all, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm definitely gonna also text my brother. Like, that's definitely gonna happen.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So Colette and Ashley are up in their room doing friend things. You guys retreat for the night. And there we have it. That's where we're gonna leave it for tonight.